In times of great happiness, be careful of making promises, for enthusiasm may be fleeting. Even a blind man can see money. If you control yourself in a moment of anger, you will save yourself 100 days of regret. A wise man makes his own decisions, while a fool follows the opinions of the masses. Do not waste your energy shooting an arrow unless you are sure of the target. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now. The treasures of the whole world are not equal to a virtuous woman. He who flatters you is your enemy, and he who blames you is your teacher. Gold has a price, but wisdom has no price. In happy homes you can find a calm that pervades the atmosphere, for happiness penetrates silence. Women often inspire us with great projects, then prevent us from carrying them out later. It is better to be sure than to regret. To know a man's mind, listen to his words. Sow a thought, reap an action, sow an action, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a character, sow a character, reap a good destiny. The man who thinks before he speaks is wise, and the man who speaks before he thinks is a fool. Experience is not something that nature gives to a man when he becomes bald. The wise man talks about his thoughts, the intelligent man talks about his actions, and the vulgar man talks about his food. The strongest water forces in the world are women's tears. If you love your son, then you can use discipline, and if you don't love him, you can reward him with sweets. Just as the river returns to the sea, so the giving of man returns to him. The adornment of men is literature, and the adornment of women is gold. 1 hour of cold will absorb the heat of 7 years. The intelligent man speaks slowly and thinks quickly. Loving humans without respect means considering them as favorite animals, and feeding them without love means treating them as despicable animals. The rich think about the future, while the poor are more concerned with the present day. He who begets children will not remain poor for long, and he who does not have children will not remain noble for long. Falling into the hole teaches us lessons that we do not learn in the heights. The insect standing on a mirror sees itself bigger than the elephant behind it. Remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. He who says that something is impossible should not interrupt the one who is working to achieve it. Cheap things are not good, and good things are not cheap. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't stand by the river and contemplate getting fish, but go home and make a fishing net. Falling is painful, except for those who fly at low altitude. It is difficult for the rich not to boast of his wealth, as it is difficult for the poor not to complain of his poverty. Learning is a treasure that follows its owner wherever he goes. Make the one who is close to you happy, and the one who is far away will approach you. In the conflict of water with rock, over time water wins. Diamonds cannot be polished without friction, nor men without experiences. The emperor is very rich, but he cannot buy an additional year. Although you cannot prevent birds from flying over your head, you can prevent them from nesting in your hair. Opening a store is easy, but keeping it open is an art. The one who is not satisfied with himself will develop, and the one who is not confident in the correctness of his opinion will learn many things. He who underestimated time was neglected by time. Do not take a crocodile as a friend even if his tears flow. Do not pollute the well, you may need it one day to drink from it. He who sacrifices his conscience for the sake of achieving his ambition is like burning a picture to get ashes. The man is the head of the family, but the woman is the neck that moves the head. Great souls have will and great souls have wishes. The intelligent person turns big problems into smaller and smaller problems until they become something. It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. If you want to play, you must know the rules and the time of the game. God gives every bird its sustenance, but he does not throw it to him in the nest. Get rid of your worries by putting them in your broken pocket. The meeting after a long separation is better than the wedding night. Just as the body needs to digest food to benefit from it, the mind needs to contemplate to assimilate and benefit from knowledge. He who asks is stupid for minutes, and he who does not ask remains stupid forever. The most lying people are those who talk too much about themselves. Decorate your mind with knowledge is better than decorating your body with jewels. If someone deceived me once, it is a shame on him, and if he deceived me twice, it is a shame on myself. The precious stone is useless until it is weighed down, and so is the man until he learns. One dialogue with a wise man is better than 10 years of study. If you stand more than you fall, even once, you will succeed. When the wind blows, some people look for shelter, while others build windbreaks. Happiness comes from contentment with what you have, not from the desire for what you do not have. A smile gives you an extra 10 years. He who avoids addressing you with the truth is in fact trying to hide the truth from you, and he who discusses you honestly is trying to help you see the truth. If you want a year of prosperity and wealth, sow grains, and if you want 10 years of prosperity, plant trees, and if you want hundreds of years of prosperity, plant people. Even the sleeping fox dreams of chickens in his dreams. Envy is like a grain of sand in the eye. True strength comes when we learn how to bend in the face of difficulties and use our flexibility to rise above ourselves. The bamboo tree reminds us that our greatest strength lies in our ability to bend without breaking, like humans. Misfortunes are not the end of the road, but the beginning of new opportunities. The further you stay away from having sex, the less you will want it. Just as the ears of wheat bend when they ripen, so the world humbles itself the more its knowledge and wisdom increase. A closed mind is like a closed book, that is, just a block of wood.